The Royal Navy's Air Force. More than 150 combat aircraft able to operate in any environment, day or night, from land or sea. A multi-role force of fast jets and helicopters. Always ready to support the Royal Navy wherever it's needed, this is the Fleet Air Arm. HMS Southampton, a Type 42 destroyer, has been undergoing deep maintenance in Portsmouth Dockyard.
Well, fundamentally, as we stand here at the moment, the ship is coming out of a 6-month period, what's called a docking period. Rather like a 60,000-mile service, if you like, only this one cost £14 million and saw us replacing engines, propellers, propeller shafts, major components of our weapon systems, our computer systems.
With only a week to go before she sails, there's still some work to be done before the ship's Lynx helicopter can land safely on deck.
Well, believe it or not, this is actually a flight deck. As you're looking around, you won't actually believe it at all. But to receive an aircraft, you're actually going to get totally rid of all of this at the minute. As you can see, we've got scaffolding on, there's nuts, bolts and everything everywhere. So it's very unsafe at the minute actually for helicopters to come on. What we're going to have to do to make sure we're fit to receive an aircraft for aviation operations, we're going to have to get rid of every single thing going, nuts and bolts, very dangerous for an aircraft. It sucks it in, goes through the engines, damages all the engines, very bad fit.
As part of upkeep, we've exchanged the Sea Dart launcher here. The launcher itself is approximately 4 decks high. We were required to change the launcher because of a series of defects over the past 12 months running period.
As soon as the work is completed, the ship is due to take part in an anti-submarine exercise off the coast of Scotland. Back at Yeovilton in Somerset, Southampton's aircrew, observer Amy Dobson, and pilot Mark Campbell are planning a goodwill visit.
Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're off to a local school, Bruton School for Girls. They've got a career liaison officer from Bristol's Naval Careers Office coming to visit them and conduct some interviews. And in support of that, we're going to take the aircraft to the school and show the children a Navy Lynx. And as well as showing them the Lynx and showing them what careers the Navy has to offer, it's a good little bit of PR for the Navy in the local area. And it gives a good opportunity to show off the aircraft to local school children. Before each flight, the pilot has to sign for the aircraft and check the documentation for the aircraft that everything is correct. We're checking for fuel states, making sure the engineering requirements have been done, and checking the modifications of the aircraft, because this could affect where we can fly the aircraft and how we can fly the aircraft.
It's a coincidence that it's our flight going to a girls' school today. It's not specifically because I'm female, but that does actually tie in quite nicely. Hopefully it will show them, or give them a greater awareness that women are in the forces and they can do a wide selection of jobs in the military.
Okay, we're now off on our route to Bruton School for Girls. It's only a very short trip. It's close to the airfield. It's a fun day for us today, quite different from the norm, but quite relaxed. And we're looking forward to hopefully trying to sell the idea.
An enthusiastic crowd greet Mark and Amy as they prepare to land on the school playing field.
Obviously very excited. 300 screaming girls. What more could a pilot ask for?
I think most of my friends were quite surprised when I came into the military, because I hadn't really shown that much of an inkling towards doing it when I was younger. It was more something I thought of when I was in 6th form. And not being a particularly aggressive or sporty kind of character, maybe I'm not somebody that they would think would choose to go into the military.
Everybody was thrilled about that. Do you actually fly the helicopter, or are you just an observer?
No, I'm an observer, so I do the navigation, the warfare side of things. So yeah, quite different.
You enjoy it?
Absolutely.
So the pilot sits up there on the right-hand side. and the observer sits on the left-hand side. The pilot flies it, and the observer does all the navigation. So Amy got us here, so we didn't get lost.
It's lovely.
You've seen a helicopter before?
Yeah. Ow, that hurt.
It's a careers thing partly, and it's also linked with the fact that we do have quite a few forces parents here, and it's nice to have a visit. And some of them will be going into possibly the forces in the career in the future.
Next week, so about 20 years old. So about almost the same age as me, really.
Some of the older pupils have already decided on a career in the military.
I've got a naval scholarship for the 2 years of my A-levels, and I'm applying for a bursary for university, and I'm going to go to university studying aerospace engineering for 3 years, and then I'm planning to go to Dartmouth and join the Navy.
You need 2 A-levels to get into the Navy as an officer. I find that it's been great for me because I've gone straight in.
I myself went to an all-girls school until the age of 16, and it wasn't until I went to a mixed school for 6th form, where they had a cadet force, I actually became aware of the military as an option.
You're constantly doing different things every day. You're working with like people, so everyone's fairly young that you're working with, and they're all quite outgoing and sociable. And also the travel as well.
As members of 815 Squadron, Mark and Amy need to do some more serious flying before they join HMS Southampton.
Squadron is the parent squadron to all the Lynx helicopters that wherever you see a frigate or destroyer at sea, invariably you'll see a Lynx helicopter, and that came from 815 Squadron, which is the largest helicopter squadron in the UK. The Lynx's role is very much an integral part of a frigate or destroyer's weapon system. It allows the captain of the ship to use his aircraft as a weapon and sensor to deploy over the horizon as an intelligent pair of eyes and ears, and also packs a certain punch as well.
The Royal Navy started using helicopters in the 1950s because it discovered rapidly that helicopters could do a lot of things that ships or fixed-wing aeroplanes couldn't. The helicopter not only could help you search for submarines, but it could carry weapons out to a range a long way beyond the ship-launched depth bombs that we'd used up until then. So the Royal Navy pioneered the use of manned helicopters as an anti-submarine weapon, and the first one went to sea in 1963. Now virtually every navy in the world operates helicopters from the back end of their destroyers and frigates.
No sooner have they returned from their successful school visit, Mark and Amy are being briefed on their next and altogether different flight.
Okay, intercom and cabin display, it's not too bad, just the 3 of us in here.
The crew are preparing to go back to sea on HMS Southampton, and there's a number of exercises they need to complete before they go back to sea and become operationally capable and combat ready. And the exercise today is to refresh them in their 6-monthly shoot of the machine gun to get them prepared for their return to sea.
Mark does a pre-flight safety check on the aircraft, and Amy prepares and makes ready the machine gun.
The M3M machine gun came into service about 5 years ago, and has now, I believe, turned into our primary weapon system. Fires about 1,000 rounds a minute and is extremely effective. A single round falling on a small boat will undoubtedly disable it.